Nigel Cecil, equity as you like it. Especially for Nigel's equitable friends.
Hello, Chackabatties. Nigel Cecil here. Equity as you like it, especially for my equitable friends. And regular viewers to my channel will know that that was a rebranding process we were asked to do by my friends in equity, and it's in the last video. Now, subsequent to that, members have been in touch and said, why don't you apply the same principles to equity and see what happens? Is that all right, Hilary? Yes, now, the thing is, we've not actually discussed this with many activists. We've actually gone out of our way to speak to members of equity who are not actively involved, because those are the very members you want to be involved in equity. So let's apply the principles and see if we can stimulate some discussion. Now, where do we start? Yes, the logo. The logo sets the tone for the whole brand. Now, for years, equity had this logo with the two masks, and then it was revitalised to a modern logo. Yes, what do they say to you? Well, you see, putting on today's Nigel hat, it's all a bit university, college club, librarianship. You know, they're all a bit, well, you know, privileged. They don't stimulate creativity, do they? So we thought, let's start afresh and see where we go. Privilege? Yes, well, of course, yes, Hilary, yes, somebody said that to us. You know, equity, you say you don't have privilege, institutional privilege? Well, you know, you must have heard, yes, what? You're a variety artist? Yeah, and you work in clubs and pubs? Really? Well, what must that be like? Where did you train, Hilary? Really? Is that a drama school? Is it? No. So you didn't go to a real... Yes, and where have you worked? Oh, and you're an actor? Yes, you see, we've got these sort of clique who think, well, you know, I'm an actor. Indeed, equity has started a class network to give equal opportunity, whatever your class. Now, here's a little picture from 1966. Yes, what do you think of that? There was class networks then, weren't there? And now, with the equity class network, one has to say, how come equity class network on Twitter has got something like, 309 followers? Have a look. 309 followers, but equity class network is only following 98. Now, if it was equality, then the number of followers would equal the number of followed, because otherwise somebody's applying some sort of privilege criteria as to who should be followed by equity. Now, that's not on really, is it? No, so we all need to follow each other, and then there wouldn't really be a need for a class network because we'd all be in it together. So when it comes to the logo, let's try something completely different. And I set aside putting in a sort of cue and a shape and saying, well, let's let our imagination run wild. Now, you might say, why is it grey? Well, that's because, of course, somebody's bound to say, does your idea work in full colour and the grayscale? So we'll do it in grey to see where we get from there. So there's the original concept, the idea, and then we built on that by putting in the word equity. Equity, so it stands out. Equity, and I'll show you this in full colour shortly, but there's equity. And then, of course, I felt we need to identify equity more. So I put in, and I discussed it with other members as well, and we actually put in Equity UK. Now, of course, that gave us a discussion, because some said, why isn't it British equity? Why not British equity? Why Equity UK? I mean, you've got American equity, you've got Australian equity, but Equity UK. Now, that's because I have to be aware of equity's rules. And some years back, not that long ago, there was a referendum to remove British from the title. So actually, equity can't have British in the title, presumably, without another referendum to put it in. And it was removed because it was felt that some potential members in the nations might be a little bit put off if the word British was used. Well, sort that out amongst yourselves. So obviously, put in UK, then it identifies where equity's from. Now you might say we don't need to. It's privilege again. Privilege. Why should equity assume that everybody in the world knows that equity is Equity UK? I mean, Google it and even what insurance companies and finance companies come up. So personally, I would put in Equity UK. Now then, you see, we've got this little bit here. What's that for? A strap line. Now, what's a strap line? That gives you a hook, a banner in which everybody can be involved. So I thought, what slips off the tongue easily? All the P's. All the P's. I'm all for a P, aren't we, Hillary? Yes. So we've got a favourite word from all the activists, progressively. Progressively. Now, doesn't that sound good? Progressively. And then we've got promoting. You see, because that's what members want the union to do, to promote their profession, to promote the opportunities of work, to promote good practices within the workplace. So that's what we want, promote. And then the other P, protecting. Now, why protecting? Well, you see, equity and a lot of trade unions seem to think they have to fight. They have to campaign. And you know, they walk into a meeting and somebody says, oh, here's equity. They've come to fight again. What are they fighting for this time? No, protect. You see, because protect may include fighting, may include campaigning in certain circumstances. But the main thrust is we're here to protect the welfare, the work environment of the members. So that's why I go for protect. And who are we protecting? Performers. Yes, indeed. That includes everybody, really. Everybody's performing in show business, aren't they? So there we go. And that gives me the final logo, Equity UK, progressively promoting, protecting performers. Now, what do you think of that? Roll the full colour version, Hillary.
Equity UK, progressively promoting, protecting performers.
Well, the full colour version, and I've got the cap and the T-shirt to match. Now, the whole idea is, you see, it's got equity with the curve on going round to UK and the strap line, so everybody should feel included. Everybody should be included because that's what a trade union is about, isn't it? So I hope you like the logo, and I hope it gives you an opportunity to discuss creativity within show business, especially with equity. Yes, Hillary? Yes, I know. We're going to be doing the same technique applied to the Equity magazine in the next video. And of course, being a sort of magazine that Nigel would approve of, there's going to be a competition. A competition as well. The caps. I will think about that one. So join me again. And until then, remember, Equity UK, progressively promoting, protecting performers. Join me again.
Equity UK, progressively promoting, protecting performers. Equity UK, progressively promoting, protecting performers.